today's Saturday and we're just loading up manure out of the lagoon and hauling it to some of the milk cow fields. Planting is just around the corner, so we're just trying to kill two birds with one stone because the lagoon's completely full and we're needing to make some room in it and also get the fields ready for cereal rye and ryegrass. So that's what we got going on today. With that being said, we'll move you to the back so you don't have to stare at me. So a couple days ago, Wes came out here with the track hoe and scooped up manure right out of here, out of the front corner, and then set it up here on the bank so that it would dry out some so we could haul it out. If we wouldn't have done that and just came straight out of the lagoon, it would just made a big old mess. So we're letting it get a little bit of just letting the water basically run back off into the lagoon. It's still hot enough that it'll dry out pretty quick, and then it's easier to handle. It's almost unbelievable how much sand the cows drag in on their feet that it ends up in the lagoon. I hauled 4 loads yesterday and it was basically all sand, and we're still almost in all sand. We'll get this one loaded up and hauled out of here. Alright, so all you gotta do is turn your PTO, or turn your chain off, turn your PTO off, and then close the door. And that is spreading the load with this Artex manure spreader. So far, we really like it. It is doing all that we wanted it to do. We haven't got to use it on any lime or chicken litter or anything like that, but it seems like to me it'll do just fine. We've hauled some really dry, almost dirt-like manure. We've hauled slurry with it, and now we're hauling this really wet, bulky sand-type manure, and it's doing it with no problem at all. The slurry was a little bit of a mess. It was kind of pouring out the back door and things like that, but it wasn't too big of a deal. You know, it just made a little bit of a mess, but you're hauling manure, it's not going to be clean anyway. So, yeah. Only a couple things that surprised us that we weren't expecting was just the weight of the spreader itself. It is very, very heavy, empty, and it's even heavier when it's loaded, obviously. And we thought with this size that, you know, we would be able to handle it just fine. And this 7410, it's getting manhandled like a fragile boy that's just got to prison. So, so that's really the only complaint about it, is just the weight. I mean, it'd be nice if you had a great big four-wheel drive tractor with duals on it, you know, that was 150 to 180 horse. The 120 horse has no problem spreading it. It just, you know, pulling it up and down hills and things like that. A little bigger tractor with four-wheel drive and duals on it would be really nice. And then the only other thing is I've kind of learned not to load it too heavy in the very front, because the whole load walks to the back, and then once that once the front is empty and everything's on the back, it's really tongue light. You know, it'll bounce up and down. So if you load it heavy in the back and keep it kind of light in the front, it's not near as bad. But yeah, other than that, it's a great spreader so far. So with that, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. And if you're looking for a spreader, these Artex spreaders are pretty nice.